It's really hard for me to admit this, but we did meet online. I don't know why it's hard for me to say that. She just fell in love with me. Just had to. We had been married and we had talked about adoption, and we talked about having biological children first. And we had planned on maybe 2 years after we got married to have some kiddos, and then we're going to pursue adoption.
About 2 years into getting married, we decided to try to have kids. And we went down the path of infertility rather quickly because I kind of have some medical diagnoses that go along with it. So we knew from the beginning that it might be a little bit challenging. We maybe tried for like a year and a half, and then kind of reached this road of like I was starting to fall apart and just be really emotional, and it just got really bad really quick. I knew God was calling us to adoption, but I like struggled with that for a little bit. I was like bargaining with God and telling him like, okay, if we can just have like one biological kid first, then I'll adopt. I mean, we were waiting and waiting for this phone call, and we'd only been like live, like birth moms had, or expectant moms had only been looking at our profiles for like a month or something like that. So it was relatively soon, and they prepared us, wait a year, 2 years for a baby. I was driving and I got a call from the adoption agency, and my heart just like, I like knew it was the call, and I couldn't answer the phone because I was just freaking out.
And I was in the bathroom and I got the phone call from them. They're like, so you matched with the little baby boy? And I freaked out in the middle of the bathroom and just be like, oh my gosh, I was so excited and so happy. We knew we wanted to go with adoption and adopt this baby boy, but it was going to be very difficult for someone who works in a school district and someone who's a social worker. We don't really make that much money, but it was just amazing to see our church community group at the time just rallied around us and just said, you are going to adopt this baby boy, you will have the money for this baby, and we're going to make sure that you have this. So we were rallied around by our friends, our family, people we don't even know. They just randomly donated. I smoked 75 pounds of pork, and we just had everybody at a park.
We raised a little bit over the amount of money that we needed. We said that the need was $25,000, and we ended up raising $26,000 and some change.
When the adoption agency found out that we were going to fundraise, they were like, oh, that's a great idea. I'm really happy you would do something like that. And this happened within, 3 weeks. Everything got raised within that amount of time. And I went to the adoption agency to drop something off, and one of the social workers looked at me and she says, by the way, this never happens. Like, fundraisers don't happen like this.
Right, raise all the money. When we started the adoption process, we actually ended up bringing home our son like almost exactly 9 months later to the day of when we first walked into the agency doors to find out about adopting through them. So we knew that we wanted more than one kid, and our adoption with Roman was just like a dream come true. He was like so handsome and sweet and snuggly and like, I don't know, just the perfect little baby boy. And so we knew that we wanted to adopt again. We got all of our paperwork done, and we waited for a while, many months, and then a birth mom picked us, or an expectant mom picked us. He was due on Christmas, and so Christmas came and went. We didn't hear anything, and then we received a call from the adoption agency saying she had the baby, and the dad decided that he wanted to parent. And so it's a weird feeling. I don't know how to explain it, but we were sad for our loss, but also excited that he was able to stay with his biological family.
It wasn't nice that we had a failed adoption, but without that failed adoption, we wouldn't have our second child, Leela.
Like basically we found out about the failed adoption like really early on in January, and by the end of January, like the very tail end of January, we were picked by the birth mom who is now the biological mother to our daughter. So it just happened really fast after waiting, for months and months and months.
So we had continued to have a relationship with Leela's birth mom, meeting with her a couple times, walking with her through this process and continue to have an open adoption and open relationship with her. And it kind of tailed off for a little bit there, and we had moved from our old house into our new house, and we thought we were basically done with having kids.
I was at work. I should have been working, but she told me that she needed to talk and that she wanted to set up a time to call. So we figured out a time, took her phone call, and she told me that she was pregnant with a baby boy. And not only pregnant, she was 36 weeks pregnant with a baby boy, and that she was placing this baby for adoption and would love for us to adopt him. We decided to pray about it and felt like that is what God is leading us to do. We have room in our new house for this baby. We have another room. We have a relationship with his birth mom already, and also we just really value biological siblings being able to be together if at all possible. And so we just, everything lined up, and we just knew that this is what God was calling us to do. So we're kind of like scrambling right now, trying to figure out like baby stuff and trying to figure out how everything's gonna fall into place. But we feel like we've seen God twice before provide for our family, and honestly in very miraculous ways.
So that's where we are with this future baby boy. We're excited, and we have no idea how we're gonna afford it, but we know God will be there with us.
Hi. Guess who we got to bring home yesterday?
Say hi. So, here's our brand new baby boy. His name is Oaks, and we are blown away. He's funny. He actually eats a bottle.
And he doesn't want to sleep.
And you don't want to sleep. That's okay. We'll work on that later. We love you.